Well, hello there, Space Monkeys. Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm Robert Durden. So this is going to be a short episode today. We're going to do some power rankings and a different theme than usual. And I'm going to give you guys some updates on PFC to start out here. I am nearly done with my writing. I haven't quite gotten through the little slump I was going through, but I'm on the upswing, and I realized that I missed you guys, and part of the reason that I wasn't quite coming back emotionally was that I actually need this. I really like talking to you guys and being involved with this stuff and making my videos, even though sometimes I get ultra stressed out by the news of the world. So the new format is, it's gonna be the same, basically me just bitching into a mic in my basement, more or less. The video count will go down, but I'm gonna do 2 stories per video, so the length of the average video will be twice as long. So instead of doing a lot of like 7 to 12 minute videos, there'll be a lot more of like 15 to 20 minute videos, maybe even longer than that. And a lot of my new stuff, especially the spicier content like the roasts and the CIA and Julian Assange, or if I'm talking about COVID, that type of stuff will go on Rockfin and Rumble. On YouTube, mostly it's going to be just the stuff that I know I'm safe talking about, which will be, we'll do the book club, we'll do the power rankings episodes, and any like run-of-the-mill updates on Congress where I don't go off the rails too much will be on YouTube. But generally, the censorship apocalypse is upon us, in case you haven't noticed. So I will not be putting a whole lot of stuff on YouTube for the second season. Just, it's not a good way for me to keep myself safe in that way. So let's go on to the power rankings, guys. This is a new theme. As you guys know, I switch it up from power rankings to power rankings. We're going to do the top 5 and some notable mentions of the best tweeters that I tend to retweet, that I read all of theirs, and I just think that they're either really, really funny, thought-provoking, philosophical, people that I generally read everything that they put up. And a lot of these people who are on Twitter and do a good job on there, have a very strong Twitter game, also do other content, and I'm going to give them all shout-outs here. Let's start off with the notable mentions here. Most of the Gray Zone crew, so Aaron Mate, Max Blumenthal, they do the Gray Zone work. They do great work there, but they also tweet a lot. They will call people out and correct people on things, which I really appreciate. In fact, Max Blumenthal called out Kyle Kulinski in the same way that I did recently when Kulinski was finally kind of backpedaling on the authoritarian, freezing of bank accounts of the people that are protesting against the mandates of the truckers up in Canada. That's the story, and Blumenthal called out Kyle for finally, coming to his senses and being like, yeah, this seems a little authoritarian. Yeah, no shit, Kyle. You've been pro-mandate this entire goddamn time. You set the stage for something like this to happen, and then, suddenly it's authoritarian now when we've been telling you it's soft authoritarianism at best for the last year. So you set the stage for this to happen, and then you draw the line for authoritarianism somewhere between your bank account being frozen, which is authoritarian, but you can be forced to pay for very expensive testing kits. You can be forced to go stand in lines for 3 or 4 hours out in the cold waiting to get tested so you can keep your job, or you can just get the vaccine, or you can lose your job straight up. That's not authoritarian at all, but apparently as soon as your bank account gets frozen, it is. Max basically laid the hammer down on Kyle, so did I and a bunch of other people. Welcome to the party, pal. It seems like you're very close to a light bulb moment there, Kulinski. Another notable mention is Alan Macleod from MintPressNews. His the stuff that I like the most that he does routinely is where he'll find like pro-war articles, and then he'll circle that like it's been sponsored by Lockheed Martin or Boeing or Raytheon, and he just posts pictures of it. He also does very good work for MintPressNews, so Alan Macleod does great work. Caleb Maupin, who again does great work reporting, but he also has like his own show, kind of like me, where he'll just be sitting in his basement talking to himself or talking to his subs. He has been fighting off a lot of scrutiny lately because of he was vindicated by the Gray Zone's article calling out UK BreadTube and Abigail Thorne, showing how they were linked, being basically paid by the elites in the UK as a front on YouTube for going after anti-vaxxers and stuff like that. Basically, vindicating Caleb for everything that he's talked about in his book. So Caleb has been dishing it out. He's taken a lot of shit, but he's dishing it out just fine. He has great tweets, and he's a Marxist who thinks very much like me. I think he's a very interesting guy, so he's doing a great job. Richard Medhurst, you guys know him. He's doing great work. He just recently did, he tweets very well, but he's done a lot of work on breaking down the Ukraine-Russia debacle right now and why there's no chance in hell that Russia was ever going to invade Ukraine. So Richie's sharp as a tack. He's got his own show, his own YouTube show, podcast, and he's great at tweeting as well. Lee Camp, goes without saying, he's hilarious. Comedian, also has his 2 shows, Moment of Clarity and Redacted Tonight. Check those out on YouTube. Glenn Greenwald, again, sort of like the Gray Zone boys, he's on the ball when catching people going out there with obvious propaganda and CIA talking points and just debunks them. He's a Twitter brawler. And Glenn Greenwald, he's great at Twitter, but he's also known for a little thing that he did with Ed Snowden. So good job, Glenn. And then lastly is the comedian who I just recently found out about a couple weeks back during the Rogan issue is Tim Dillon. He has a great Twitter account. Very, very funny, very nuanced. I didn't know much about him, but I've been watching his tweets lately, and he does not hold back, which, as you guys know, I appreciate that very much in a tweeter or a podcaster, which he does both. So good job, Tim Dillon. All right, let's do the top 5 in ascending order. Number 5 is Comrade Misty, a friend of mine. I've been on a panel with her before. She's wonderful. She has a YouTube channel called Bitch. And she's very much like me, where it's like she's got a heart of gold, and therefore so she's seeing all of the suffering going on around her, so she is very mouthy, same as me, and she is always trying to help Julian Assange, and she's got a great head on her shoulders. And the only reason she's so fucking angry is that she just never like me, you just never see anything good going on, so you just go out there and scream at people, and that works for me, and it works for her very much, and that's why we love her so much. Comrade Misty, great job. You want to follow her for sure. Number 4 is Fiorella Isabel of the Convo Couch. Now, she not only tweets very well and is super entertaining and puts things in a very succinct way when she tweets, very thought-provoking way as well. She gets a lot of shit because she doesn't go along with the bullshit duopoly stuff where she'll expose the Democratic Party a whole lot, so therefore she gets labeled a right-winger. She also is anti-vaccine mandate like me, so like me, she gets labeled a right-winger a lot and takes a lot of shit for that. She never backs off. She just goes out there and just shellacks everybody. And the Convo Couch is great, the show that she does with Craig and Johnny Tsunami. Great show. I'm watching that a lot more nowadays. And recently, Fiorella had a great article come out dictating how T-Mobile as a company is trying to coerce their managers into getting vaccines. Otherwise, they're put on hiatus, paid hiatus. So that's a great article as well. That's on, I believe, Substack. You're going to want to check that out. So Fiorella's number 4. Number 3 is Nick Cruze or Socialist MMA. It's kind of a 3-way tie, these top 3, because Nick Cruze tweets hilarious stuff, memes, great articles. He recently retweeted the Chris Hedges article talking about how the Democratic Party is actually the more sneaky evil, the evil that sneaks fascism in through your back door, the way that I've always talked about it. I didn't see that article until Nick retweeted it. He's also just ruthless, and he's very insightful. And that's the reason that you'll see I think his Twitter account has 60,000 subs, but he routinely beats people like Cenk Uygur, Anna Kasparian, all the boutique lefties that have hundreds of thousands of subs. Nick routinely beats them in likes and shares, and there's a reason for that. He's just hitting dingers left and right on Twitter. So Socialist MMA or Nick Cruze, he's of Revolutionary Blackout Network. Number 2 is Caitlin Johnstone, and she does everything well. She's very funny. Her Twitter account, I probably retweet her as much as anybody, really. She also does a really awesome Substack, and she has a YouTube channel where she basically kind of reads out loud her most recent articles. Her articles are very astute, hilarious, and they're not terribly long either, so I read all of the ones that she puts out. So I highly recommend following her. Go to her Twitter page, follow her on there as well, and read all of her articles if you can, like I do. You won't be disappointed. So Caitlin Johnstone is number 2, and number 1 is Black in the Empire. or my good friend Darryl. He's an INN, or the Indie News Network comrade of mine. That's not why I'm giving him number 1. He absolutely earned it. I retweet him as much as anybody, and he doesn't really like retweets like articles as much. It's all his own like insights, and every single one of them goes bananas, and he tweets so often, and every single tweet is just bonkers good. So I highly recommend you follow him. He comments on basically everything, but he's very philosophical, very astute in the way that he analyzes things, and every single tweet is just succinct, to the point, and it makes you go, hey, that's something I never thought of before. That really makes a lot of sense. So yeah, Black in the Empire is really my undisputed number 1 right now. He's been hot as hell lately. So Darryl, you keep up the good work, buddy. Your Twitter account is second to none. So anyway, let's just go over those again. Number 5, Comrade Misty. Number 4, Fiorella Isabel. Number 3, Socialist MMA or Nick Cruze. Number 2, Caitlin Johnstone. And number 1, Black in the Empire. And I also want to give a quick shout out, guys. I tweeted this yesterday. If the current pace holds, Jimmy Dore and Russell Brand will pass Kyle Kalinske and TYT respectively in 18 days. They're both on pace to pass the people that I said they would pass in a previous episode like 7 months ago. I predicted they would pass them right around New Year's, and it was going to be about the same day is what I said. Now, I was wrong about when it would happen, but it looks like it's going to be March 7th or 8th. Something like that, if the current pace holds. Now, the reason I was wrong before is they both hit a stumbling block late last year, sometime around the Rittenhouse case. There just wasn't a lot of growth at that point. I'm not sure why. I think the left was kind of divided on that case, so it didn't promote a lot of growth. And so they hit a stumbling block and they slowed down, but over the last 40 days or so, like clockwork, they're just climbing every single day. So it's going to be early March. Whether I'm off by a day or 2 or a week is irrelevant, but it's going to happen about the same time. Could even be the same day, and if it is the same day, it's going to be March 7th or 8th. So you can go check the numbers for yourself, look at the growth. I've been watching them both, basically everything they put out, both Russell and Jimmy, and I'm being vindicated because a lot of people told me I was crazy saying that Jimmy and Russell would never pass the people in front of them. I'm like, no, they will. It's just a matter of when. So I was off. It's not going to be around New Year's, of course, but it's going to be about two months later than New Year's. And regardless of the date, save like the early March area for a party, because I'm going to definitely be on that day making an episode making fun of Kalinske and TYT when they get passed. Because, of course, my point of all of this is that Jimmy and Russell tell the truth. They're real people who are not selling you propaganda, and it makes me happy to see them passing basically the propagandists that they're coming up upon. So after Jimmy passes Kyle, it's going to be Sam Cedar, and Sam is dead in the water. So it'll be just a matter of time. Sam's at 1.17 million. Kyle's at 974,000, which congratulations. You're just finally off of 973, which he's been stuck at for months and months and months. He did grow a little bit, but it doesn't matter. It's just going to take Jimmy an extra day to make up the difference. So sometime around early March, guys. It's going to happen. Russell's going to sprint by TYT like Jesus in sandals and wave bye-bye. And Jimmy's going to do the same thing to Kyle Kalinske, which says something. Jimmy must be pretty fast if he can outrun Forrest Gump. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing okay. I will be back very, very soon, maybe as early as tomorrow. I love you guys. I've missed you.